Bhante, if I could ask, which year did you got seriously into Western philosophy and Western psychology? Is it when you were in United States and you had more interaction with the Western
while I was
people?
in the United States, I began to get the opportunity of studying psychology and also Buddhist Western philosophy, and so that's how I was also able to get some degrees there here.
Did anyone introduce you to this? Did anyone introduce you to these subjects, or you thought that this is the direction you wanted to take, to study psychology and Western philosophy?
No, I was interested in psychology from the beginning.
Right.
And also I was interested in philosophy.
Right.
So that's how I got into that.
Right. So you probably were in the right place. You probably were in the right country to get to know more about it.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity of being in United States, where I could read the books I wanted, and also meet people who are educated people.
Right.
And so all that helped me in this way. Yeah.
So you were quite busy, as I could see. You were, interacting with the community, working, staying in a monastery and studying as well.
Yeah.
Which universities did you study? Which universities in the United States did you study?
In the Boston, I was in the Harvard University and the Boston University. I was both associating with the professors and all this. So,
right.
At the same time, I was teaching at Adult Education Center in Boston. Yeah.
Right.
So, all that helped me, but it was gradually, because at the same time these people in Canada also wanted me to work in those temples, and so many things I had to do. But at the same time I was interested in studying these subjects.
Right. At that time, did you find any contemporary monks that they were interested in similar ideas, or you were alone?
Well, this is the problem, that most monks were not interested in these things to the extent that I was interested. This is a problem. So it was mainly a study of my own,
Right. And you just kept going, So we could say you were almost lonely in that space. Trying to figure out yourself. So at about that time, do you think it sort of, instigated you that the traditional translations from Pali to English did not match or were, incorrect to you?
Well, when I was beginning to understand from the translations I had, I began to, because of my background in philosophy and psychology, I began to understand what the Buddha was trying to say. But when I read some of the translations, I began to see there is something wrong somewhere.
That must have been a very
So I began to do some research in the Pali words and trying to get the real meaning of the Pali sentences. And then I began to see that I could put different words into this and then the meaning comes out better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started using different English words to express the ideas.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think being a native speaker of Singhali, which is an Indo-European language, it helped you to understand some of the root words of Pali? For example, the word samma, that in Bengali or in Chakma, we mean it's like balanced, something not moving.
Harmony.
Harmony, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that actually has nothing to do with the word right.
Yeah,
So it's,
yeah,
and
yeah,
people
yeah.
just accepted it without thinking because someone else said so.
Yeah.
And after you introduced the word, it just made so sensible to be harmonious, because we know the original meaning, not necessarily in Pali, but in Bengali or in Chakma. That's what, yeah.
So that again was useful for me because the Sinhalese language was very close to Pali and Sanskrit.
Yeah.
So even in the Sinhalese language, some of the words are being used in the Sinhalese language itself, like sankhara. The word sankhara in Sanskrit is sanskara,
Right.
whereas in Pali it is sankara.
Sankara, yeah.
But in Sinhalese, sanskarana.
Sanskara.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
You see.
That almost the lineage is like pure from Sanskrit, isn't it?
Yeah,
They just put a bit of suffix at the end.
Yeah,
right?
So it's like that. So the it is easy to understand it because Sinhalese was very close to Sanskrit and Pali.
So, as you have written in your books, the early translators, the early Western translators, you have acknowledged in the book that they have done a great work in terms of translating big volumes, but they have made few fundamental mistakes because of not knowing the native language and Pali well.
Yeah.
But as you said, we still acknowledge them for their effort into the translating a large volume of work. That must have been not easy for them, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's the language helped me to understand it better and provide better English words to express those ideas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.